biggest thing about this kind of heater, it only runs when demand from the house's hot water lines create a flow that causes it to run. There can be a slight delay until you get hot water. We got the gas line in, and up here we got these two air intake and exhaust, and we got hot water out. See hot water out, and the blue line is cold water in. And down here it's got a regular plug into the wall. And this here's our drain. Goes down into the side. And then the user interface is right there. On the warranty, the heat exchanger is warranted for the lesser of 15 years or 8,000 operational hours for a residential installation. That would be an average of 534 operational hours per year over the 15 years. To give you an idea of consumption, with a family of 4 over 3 years, it's been less than 300 operational hours per year. The hot water unit is less than 57 decibels when it runs. So now let's take a quick look at the control panel. You can preheat water from an existing tank, which is pretty cool. If you had a solar water heater outside that kept the water warmer than the line coming in from your well or city supply, that would be a great way to utilize this system. The water heater is smart enough to know, based on the temperature of the line coming in, whether or not it needs to kick on and add heat to that hot water before distributing it through the house. It is really impressive to see that it only uses 910 operational hours over that many operational cycles over 39 months. Just over 3 years of use, and on average it's using less than an hour a day of operational usage. What's interesting about the uniform energy factor is that when you measure it against the traditional tank water heater, that scores on that scale about a 0.67 rating, whereas these new on-demand water heating without a tank, they score much higher, as in a 0.96 rating. When the install costs are factored into the bill for obtaining the unit, it became rather expensive. Installation involved removing the existing hot water tank and installing a new tankless water heater on a newly constructed wall mounted to a sheet of plywood. There was PVC venting for this furnace to the outside for intake and exhaust. We had one of the two, but not both, so one of them had to be drilled through the wall and installed. Having it installed by a pro in this case was beneficial because the work was in so many different areas that I wasn't really comfortable doing it myself. So this performance test that we've done here is to show over a 2-minute period using an infrared thermometer how the hot water comes through the faucet. We're using the faucet that is the furthest distance in the system from the hot water heater. By turning the faucet on hot, we expect the hot water heater to kick in after it meets the criteria for the house requesting hot water. Unfortunately, in this test, even using an infrared thermometer as a sort of baseline measurement, you can see that it never gets too hot to touch and that the temperature rise is very, very gradual over a 2-minute period. Now, this would be great if it was, this only happened once, but unfortunately it's been a common enough experience that we've learned to live with it. And this is after a $600 repair where we had to have the burner replaced. The issue was beetles were coming in through the air intake and they were getting into the burner and gumming it up over the years that we've had it in operation. The burner itself was too hard for the technician to get at to actually clean because of the way the system is designed. So the burner had to be replaced. Bosch also sent us an induction shield filter to help keep beetles and other bugs out in the future. So hopefully we don't run into the same problem in the future. And unfortunately for our repair, labor is only covered for the first year. I wish the energy savings were really able to be championed in this review, but the reality is that the users of the system in our house do grapple with getting hot water. And yes, you can tweak it, but in the end, it doesn't justify the installation costs and it doesn't justify the fuel savings. Yes, it's a fuel sipper, and I was really hoping that would have been the highlight of this review. But in the reality of using it for this duration, it's really tough to justify the amount of money it costs to install and maintain it.